Before I'm going to start, I just quickly want to say thank you for all of your input on this channel right here. Honestly, I did not expect so much interaction and feedback while not being constantly active here, and I know compared to others 200 subscribers are not a lot, but I rather did expect something like 10 or 20 at this time. So as I already said, thank you a lot for hanging out here with me, and now where spring finally hits here in Germany, I can't wait to go out again and continue the photography without words series. So stay with me if you like to see more of these. As you know, I'm still a greenhorn here on YouTube, but my first experience here is so much better compared to other social media platforms like Instagram, for example, where most of the comments are emojis. It really feels like there are real people watching here, and I do appreciate your comments a lot. With that being said, I just want to make a little update on what happened in Iceland and how it affected my learning process, as well as make a little summary of things that worked out and things that did not go as planned. I think it is important, if you want to improve whatever you are doing, to not only set goals but also draw the balance every once in a while. So this is some kind of a reflection for myself, but maybe you can take a few notes for yourself. One of my goals was to really start learning again, and that meant to abandon old habits which prevented this learning process and kept me in circles of repetition. So there were basically two main habits which I had to leave behind. The first one is what I call hotspot hunting. I don't know if this term is common or not, so my personal definition of hotspot hunting is to try to catch as many famous photography spots on a journey as possible. And yeah, this is what I did in the past, for example on the Faroe Islands. Every day was planned out in detail to not waste any time and to get the most out of it. And I actually came back with quite a lot of good photographs, because I simply was out there on the road most of the time, and I managed to see places in all kind of light situations. So don't get me wrong, there are definitely good parts about hotspot hunting, and it can be fun to be in action all the time, especially with the right people on your side. It's not all something bad in general, but I learned in my case that it is simply not the right approach for me. Hotspot hunting can lead to losing focus, and you can get caught in this process of trying to catch as many places and spots as possible, so that the result is quantity instead of quality. And for Iceland, I try to change my approach. So let's get to the point. Did it work out? Well, actually, not really, but I have some excuses. First of all, I really wanted to photograph the Icelandic volcano while erupting. I was continuously watching all the live cams for about 1 week, desperately waiting for some activity. And while I was waiting, I did not want to sit around and do nothing, therefore I visited some hotspots instead. Nevertheless, this time being my first time in Iceland, it was quite nice to see all those huge waterfalls, mossy lava fields, and you name it. So I think it was actually the best alternative, and I did enjoy it, because many of these spots are simply kind of unique, like the Diamond Beach, for example. My second excuse is the weather. I had to abandon some hiking plans due to really bad weather and storm warnings. Fall in Iceland is just unpredictable in terms of the weather. So yeah, even though I did not change my approach to photography completely, it still felt like a good fresh start. So instead of hotspot hunting, I wanted to try to work in projects where I define a theme or a topic which fits what I enjoy doing and follow this definition for a certain time. And it seems like with the approach of project-based work, I am on the right track. What I feel was missing in my photographs was a purpose. An answer to the question, why do I even take these pictures? And also the project-based work gives me some kind of a red line. For example, in the Ever-Changing World project, I know that I can put all those series someday together and they will create a bigger picture which is growing with every series I add to it. Other than that, with the project-based work you can dive into certain topics, themes or categories and improve over time without becoming a jack of all trades where you are just shooting whatever comes in your mind. That's at least what I hope will not happen. Another positive aspect is that I don't have to do one thing the whole time. For example, if you are growing an audience as a street photographer, it can be challenging to one day change your subject to something completely different, while starting a new project is a little easier. But the downside is obviously that my photographs are probably not as easy to recognize when I shoot different projects with different looks and topics as somebody who has one theme, one topic and one specific style. But like everything in life has its up and downsides, I'm feeling good with my choice right now, and you have to look what approach fits best for you. Nevertheless, deciding to mainly work in projects also comes with a price. What I'm talking about is that there are some photographs where I'm just absolutely happy how they turned out. Some even are my personal favorites from specific locations, but there is simply no space in my portfolio to place them because it would not fit into one of the ongoing projects and it would kind of destroy the overall impression. So for example, the photographs of the volcano eruption in Iceland, which I took right in front of the lava lake, turned out absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. I personally haven't seen a lava lake like this before, where you could stand right next to it and even below the surface. And the constantly expanding lava lake alone was just a really nice subject and fun to shoot as well, because it was changing its shape basically every minute. I did spend about 12 hours at the eruption site to take advantage of the changing light situations and try to capture how the lava field expands. In my eyes, this worked out really good, and what I like the most about this photo series is how the main crater is almost always blurred in the background because of the heat from the lava field, and it's not caused by the open aperture. This glimmering effect from the uprising hot air makes the pure heat just perfectly visible on the photograph, and is one of the details I just really like, as well as the simplicity of it. Nevertheless, the black and white shots are the ones who I like the most, simply because I haven't seen so many black and white photographs of active volcanoes before, and I was curious how it would look. So the point is that even if the topic would match to the ever-changing world, I decided to make this an aerial photography project, and on the long run I think it will be better to sacrifice some of the good photographs as not being part of it, to just keep the series within one project more constant. But yeah, feel free to tell me your thoughts or experiences about this approach, and just to be clear, I just want to share my experiences and I cannot tell you what works best for you. Last but not least, I want to talk about black and white photography, which I'm still trying to implement more into my overall portfolio. The more I shoot and edit black and white, the more I like it, but I feel that I have to continue this over a longer period to fully unlock the potential of black and white, and to better understand when and why a photograph works better as a monochrome. Right now it's more like I'm trying to shoot a lot and then picking the ones that work the best, but I would like to be able to recognize opportunities more within the moment instead of within the editing process. But that seems to be a matter of time, and to be honest, I did not shoot a lot during the winter time, and this is something I really want to change for the future. But you know how it is, you always have to find the balance between time, money, and so they're simply not always both available. Anyway, before we wrap it up, I want to leave a few words on my current experience using digital and analog side by side. One thing I learned so far is that I do like the look of 35mm film photos and its characteristics, as well as digital photography with all of its characteristics, like having an enormous amount of dynamic range, for example. But I don't see myself in making digital images looking analog and the other way around. I just like to appreciate both sides on its own, and I feel like the best way for me using film cameras is for personal photographs, like family and friends, or just for the learning aspect. On the other hand, digital photography, in my opinion, is just a little more timeless and better to rely on when you are in situations where you need feedback immediately. So if you would ask me now to make a choice between digital and analog, I would definitely go for digital, even though I'm having more fun with film photography right now. So that's it for today. I just want to thank every one of you again for spending your time here with me, and especially if you have watched the whole video to this point, because I'm trying to make these videos entertaining but also not annoying, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if you want to see more, you can check out my website, where I also have some limited prints available. So have a good one, enjoy the spring season if you have one where you live, and that's it. Tschüss.